it's all about confidence and chemistry with the guys, how you work in the dugout, how you work in that aspect. So I'm looking to see what that is going to be like in spring training.
Putting the right guys in the right positions to be successful. And these days, that does involve a little bit of analytics. We've talked before about how they've gone overboard with the analytics. I'm a proponent of, okay, if the guy's hitting well, batting average wise, or gets on base, like on base percentage, those are the kinds of things I want to use to be able to put the guys in the best spots in the lineup, best spots in the field to help the team be successful. But yeah, old school mentality of consistency. These guys need to understand where they sit and what their role is.
Welcome back to another episode of The Rotation with Mike and Jon. I'm Jonathan Sawyer. With me is my brother, Mike DeSanto. Mike, it's baseball season. Pitchers and catchers report next week. I'm excited. How about you?
Me too. It's we always talk about how we love baseball, and it seems like a long wait for when baseball season. But it went fast the off season for me, but I'm super happy to have baseball back starting next week. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers report next Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and then the following week is when the first squad, pretty much all the starters, are going to report. For our beloved Yankees, they've been down in Tampa. A lot of guys have pretty much already resorted themselves to their locations at this point, but they will finally report. It's kind of like mandatory OTAs for NFL. If you're not familiar with MLB protocols and whatnot, where they have, the mandatory stuff and the non-mandatory stuff. So this is going to be mandatory. Pitchers and catchers are going to report. It's going to be interesting. The Yankees actually just picked up a left-handed or a right-handed pitcher from the Dodgers in a trade for two prospects. I forget his name.
It's Caleb Ferguson, and he actually is a lefty.
Left-handed, yes. I thought he was left-handed. So another lefty in the bullpen. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to our trip here in a few weeks, Mike. It's going to be fun. I mean, I'm in scouting out all the new different places down there. Like we said in the comments, we're going to be, or like we said last show, we're going to be down in the Grapefruit League, traveling to every stadium. So if you're down there and you guys want to come say hi, you guys want to, talk a little baseball with us, come talk baseball with us. We're going to be at each stadium. We're going to post on Cinco Squad at Cinco Squad Pod 05 on our Instagram, where we're going to be each day, and so on and so forth. So we're looking forward to a great week of baseball, and we can't wait to be down there. But let us know what you think. But I've been researching all different types of things to do at the games, at the ballparks, but I also want to be surprised a little bit too.
Yeah, no, I think that's part of the interest and the fun of it is kind of like, all right, yeah, get some ideas of some of the things that you can do, but at the same time, it's fun to walk around a ballpark and go, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Like when I came down to visit you and we went to the Marlins-Cubs game, I knew a little bit about Lone Depot. I had obviously seen it on TV and in highlights and all that, and so I was kind of familiar with the layout of it. But we walked around before the game, and it was kind of cool to be like, oh, that's something you don't see on, they don't show on TV, and oh, they have that kind of like a for food, and oh, I didn't know that was here, and look at those logos. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun to just walk around a ballpark and kind of see the sights. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, and looking at our beloved Yankees, we'll just go right into our Yankees talk as we normally do every show. It will get more in depth, everyone, don't worry. And if you have anything you want to talk about the Yankees, as you can see, I'm repping the 315 here on my hat. Go Orange, even though we're having a rough streak right now. But our Yankees talk starts off with off-season grade. We're going into the spring training. What would you give this off-season grade?
That's a tricky one for me. I guess I'll go with the one that came to mind first. I'll give them a B. I think they addressed a lot of things, and they brought in some important pieces. We talked before, I like Stroman. I like what's the potential that Soto has to add to the lineup and make it even stronger. I like that they're, like as we talked about. I like that they're sticking with a lot of the young guys, it seems, and giving them good opportunities, or at least putting them in a position to really earn roster spots. I like Caleb Ferguson. He's been a good lefty. He's got a year team control left, so it doesn't work out. They can let him go after this season, but he's only 27, kept his ERA for the most part during his career below 4, which is great. I think he'll add something great to the bullpen. I would have liked to have seen some more bullpen arms. I guess that's my one gripe at this point, is I would have liked a little more pitching additions by this point. By you.
Yeah, I would have to say probably give them a C plus for right now. I don't know how these are going to work out. I don't know from potentially wise, it could be an A off season, but I think we're going to have to find out probably July or August. Right now, I'm thinking that it will be telling. Injuries are a big thing. Stroman's dealt with injuries. Rondon's dealt with injuries. Verdugo's dealt with injuries. Can the team stay healthy this year? That is the biggest gripe from last year. You can't predict injuries, right? You can't predict what's going to happen, but you can plan for it. At the end of the day, there was way too many last year. You had Judge, Stanton, LeMahieu, Torres at some point. Actually, I think Torres was one of the only healthy guys. You had Rondon, Rizzo, with that concussion. So many. I mean, that's 7 guys, and that's not even the half of it. Yeah, Loizac had gone until August. He had the pretty much all the young guys. But that's what I'm saying about with the Yankees and having a new method. What your method has not been working. So stop with all the contractual bullshit that you keep doing and move the guys up that need to move up if you know they can play big league ball. So you can't predict injuries, but you can surely prepare, as best you possibly can. When you have 9 starters pretty much go out from last year, it's hard to compete. It's hard to compete at a high level when you're consistently trying to pull from your minor league system and pull from free agents or guys who are just, scrap guys that you're pulling onto the roster. It's hard to get any type of chemistry going. As everyone always says, baseball is like, how do you get chemistry in baseball? You can really get chemistry because your pitcher builds off your hitters builds off your pitchers. Guy makes a huge play in the outfield, it's going to translate to his bat. He's going to feel confident. He's going to feel hyped. That's what I always say about Stan. He used to make good plays in the outfield. And then you take him out of that position, and now he can't. He's not going to be the same player at the plate, right? So it's all about confidence and chemistry with the guys, how you work in the dugout, how you work in that aspect. So I'm looking to see what that is going to be like in spring training. I'm looking to see how the starting lineups. Boone has already mentioned on John Boy Media that he's going to change the lineups and whatnot and try to make sure that they're as fluent as possible, but also as strict as possible. He's not going to try to change much. He may move some guys here and there, but he wants to keep everything pretty much 1 through 4 set. He wants to keep his starters rolling. He wants to roll 5 starters. Which is good. I like that mentality because that's old school baseball right there. And I think you need some old school with some new school.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked before about the combination of putting the right guys in the right positions to be successful. And these days, that does involve a little bit of analytics. We've talked before about how they've gone overboard with the analytics. I'm a proponent of, okay, if the guy's hitting well, batting average wise, or gets on base, like on base percentage, those are the kinds of things I want to use to be able to put the guys in the best spots in the lineup, best spots in the field to help the team be successful. But yeah, old school mentality of consistency. These guys need to understand where they sit and what their role is, because if you keep, with batting orders specifically, if you keep switching guys all around, like, oh, today you're a leadoff hitter, tomorrow you're batting 7th, like there's not a whole lot of consistency with what these guys are supposed to do. And there's the traditional baseball roles of like leadoff guys get on. Your 3, 4, 5 hitters are the ones that drive people in. Bottom of the order are guys that, you want to be able to get hits, work the pitchers, things like that, draw long at bats. But if you keep switching guys and you keep bringing them out of where they're sitting in the groove that they might be in, then you're not going to find consistent success. I know I've said it a few times, but the name of the game is consistency in the game of baseball. It's 162 games. You have to get these guys in a rhythm and get them and keep them in a groove.
So yes, like I said, I'll give the Yankees a C plus for right now. I'm hoping that grade goes up based on the performance. But my prediction right now is it's a C plus. But let's move into the rest of the league. We got a lot of baseball. Like I said, pitchers and catchers report next week, or this next week, and then the week after the rest of the first squad, which is normally the starters reporting. But the MLB has released the brand new spring training hats, which I'm going to pull up here right now, and let's see how this looks.
Yes.
I actually like these, Mike. I actually like how they went a little unique, a little different. You know, the Dodger D is also popping out, but going across the first line right here, I mean, I like the Diamondbacks. I really do. I think that's a sharp looking hat. I don't know. I know your face down there. It looks like it doesn't, but I like the sharp looking hat right there. I think it's a pretty good hat.
I don't think it's a bad hat. I love the logo. I personally, if I was making the hats, I wouldn't have gone with the baby blue as the primary hat color. I would have probably gone with like that sand tan they use and then outline the logo in the baby blue. But that's a personal preference. I don't think it's bad. It's just not exactly what I would have done.
I can get some dope ass Jordans that would probably match that and be like, all right, cool. Yeah. I can picture the Jordans that I would get and to match those. But look, going across the second line, I mean, honestly, the best hat out of this entire group, you know, besides the Yankees, of course, for us, for me is the Tigers hat. I think that looks sharp. I love that. I'm an orange, as you can tell, I'm wearing an orange hat. I'm a big orange guy. I love that hat. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, and it's not only it's the orange hat, but it's the unique kind of like secondary or even third. That's essentially like a third logo for them as far as the Tigers go. And it kind of throws back, I believe they used a logo like that in like the 80s on their hats. So no, I really do like that. Normally you wouldn't sometimes like primary logo color on top of a hat that's that same color doesn't work. But in this case, it really does work.
Well, we can look right to the right of it, and we see the Astros.
Exactly.
And I did not like that at all. I think they should have went with the blue brim with the orange. But they went the same. The difference between the two hats, right, is they went for the all solid color, right? They went to all orange there. And then the Astros went from, you know, orange to lighter orange. I don't like that. You should have just went, you know, to just straight blue right here. I don't like like you said, I don't like the whole solid
color on color, yeah.
Well, and the difference works for a couple. It works for like the Phillies, the Cardinals, because that's the Cardinals' original hat.
Right.
But I mean, the Pirates, the Padres, the A's, you know, I would have liked to see them do something different for the Cincinnati Reds. They just basically did their same hat. Same with the Yankees. Do a little something different. Yeah. Be different, man. Like, I like that. Like, when they go and they have the creative basis to be different. And they just didn't. Like, a lot of them, it's like half and half with a lot of these hats. Like, Toronto's, that's their normal hat. I like what they did with Texas. Went with a baby blue. Cool, let's try it out. It looks pretty sharp. But, like, a lot of these hats, like the Mariners, we never see that hat usually. The Giants, nice different. Hat, yeah, so, like, do something different. The Minnesota Twins, I see what you're doing up there. That's the MS, if everyone doesn't know. But you could have done something different. The Mets did something different. Like, I would have liked to see something that pops a little bit more. The Marlins, I actually would have loved to see them do like a red solid with the blue brim and then the logo.
Yeah, I don't know how much the Marlins have been like every year. It seems like they go more heavily into those alternate colors and then they back off of it and then they're back into the alternates and then they back off of it.
Pick one.
Exactly. Right. Be a little more consistent with what you want to do. And yeah, if you want your spring training hat to be the alternate colors, then yeah, go for it. Like use that, like I said, use that creativity. The Yankees, they're not going to really screw with the hats. They're not going to screw with the hats.
They may do like a gray hat with a blue brim. That's what I've seen.
Yeah.
Or like just do the solid.
I saw like not their game hats like that, but like their practice hats. They've done like the blue with like a gray brim. But then they wear those ones, the normal hats, in the games. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you could have done with a lot of these. What stands out to me when kind of scanning the whole picture is a lot of teams went with yellow this year. Like a lot more teams went with the yellow this year, and the Rays, the only one that really like throws me off is the Rays yellow. I know because it's a sun ray and whatever. Like the yellow is involved, right? But I don't know if you're gonna go with the yellow, maybe like the dark blue or the powder blue as the hat, and then the yellow brim or something like that. I would have liked to have not seen it be solid yellow. If you want to put yellow,
the A's, Padres, and Pirates are pretty much their only two colors are black and yellow,
right,
or white, or like green and yellow, or brown and yellow. Like there's no other differentiate on that. Mm-hmm. What I would have liked to see for the Padres is to match their jerseys, pinstripe hat.
That would have been cool. That would have been unique, and it would stand out.
How that would look, though. I don't know. Like it would have been gray. It would have had to been a solid gray hat or the grayish brownish one, and then it had the pinstripes with the SD logo. I'd be okay with that. But let's go through your top 3 hats just off the cuff. Go.
My top 3 hats. Let's see. I'm gonna stay away from the Yankees because it's the same. I want to go with ones that
rapid fire.
Let's see. We're gonna go with. I like the Orioles. I like the Giants, and I like the Tigers.
Okay, so mine are the Tigers, the Cubs, and the Nationals. I love that W down there. W.
Yeah, it goes with their cherry blossom alternate.
Yeah,
which I like. I like that jersey, so I like that hat.
Well, it's going to be retired after this year, so
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments which hat you like or which hat. I'm thinking on our tour, I'm gonna try to get one from each stadium. So I may have like a bunch of hats except Boston. I ain't buying nothing.
No.
JetBlue, I'll buy the other two. I think it's the Twins. I'll buy the Twins hat for that stadium.
Buy 2 Twins hats. Just
let us know what you think in the comments. Yes. What you're thinking. But Mike, as we go away from hats in the design of the teams, I mean, a lot of the players we talked about last week are now on teams. 2 players in particular are still out there. Cody Bellinger, Blake Snell are still out there.
Yep.
But then we saw, what's his face? My brother, Redbeard.
Oh, Justin Turner.
Justin Turner signed with the Blue Jays. We were totally wrong. He signs with the Blue Jays. I think I said he was going back to LA, but I think he wanted too much, maybe.
I mean, the Blue Jays, I read about the signing, and they were saying like the Dodgers may have been in on him, but the Blue Jays offer him more playing time than the Dodgers will. So I think he wants to continue to play at least a consistent level at this point in his career as he gets older, which I completely understand, and I think he fits well in Toronto. So
yeah,
not a bad
100%. Move. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in Toronto. I think it's a good, because he doesn't have to be the guy, right? They have a set lineup. He can come in. He can hit the long ball. I mean, it's a deep park, right? So he's going to really have to push it. But he can really come in and be a veteran leader for this young group. And Trey Day always mentions for football that a guy needs to come in and be a leader. And I think this Blue Jays team is very young, and they need that veteran leader who's kind of like in with the young crowd, but also understands how to handle his business, has won a championship, knows how to get through the season. So I think that's what he brings to the locker room, is a veteran leader that can be like, hey, I've been in this league for almost 20 years. So look, I've seen success. I've been successful. I've been to World Series. I've been to NLCS and NLCS more. But I know what I can do here. So I like that move. But looking at Blake, according to reports from, I think, John Heyman or the other guy on CBS, Bellinger's got it down to 3 teams. I think it's the Giants, the Cubs, and the Yankees. Those are the 3 teams. And then no word on Snell. They said from all the reports that I'm reading, he's not going to be with a team by next week for reporting the pitchers and catchers.
No one's giving him still a week later.
I think that's absolutely stupid.
Nobody's giving him what he wants.
It's stupid. It's stupid because they're willing to give guys that are fucking hurt a contract like that. But this guy wins a Cy Young in both leagues. Both leagues.
Right. He's 31.
In a span of 4 years.
Right.
And he doesn't get the opportunity. He's been on the field. He hasn't been hurt. But because he's 31, it doesn't make any sense. You're willing to give Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer these big-ass contracts, but you're not willing to give this guy. I don't understand it. It's not even that big of a contract, though. It's $30 million a year.
It's not the money. It's the length.
It's the years.
It's the years. But he wants 9. He wants to get paid until he's 40, and no one wants to do that. Verlander and Scherzer are getting 2-year deals because everybody's waiting for the fall off. They don't want to bank.
It already happened.
Well,
what do you mean waiting? It happened last year.
Well,
Scherzer happened in the playoffs of 2022.
Right, but because when he's on the field in the regular season, he's good. People are still going to give him the money, but people are waiting for the ends of their careers. Snell, well, you look at it this way, right? Taking it back to the Yankees a little bit, Robinson Cano wanted an 11-year deal, which he got from Seattle to pay him until he was 41. The Yankees didn't want to do that. Not after A-Rod. Not after all of these teams have seemingly had guys where they've given long deals and it hasn't worked. So everybody's not doing it anymore. So I think Snell's gonna have to knock his years down. They may pay him $30 million a year, but he's gonna have to knock the years down.
And maybe, I mean, if they can negotiate somewhere in the 7, I'd love Snell to be our number 2.
I would exactly. I agree.
I mean, he would immediately go into the number 2 slot right after Cole. It would be Cole, Snell, Rondon, or Stroman or Rondon, whatever 2 is hot.
It depends on if you want to.
And then Cortez would be the 5th guy, and Schmidt would go to the bullpen again, which I don't mind because Schmidt was a good bullpen guy, right? But I'm looking at the totality. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there still free agency. I'm gonna pull it up here in a second, but Bobby Witt Jr. just signed that massive deal, which is well deserved. I mean, the kid's a stud. I mean, his dad was a pretty good player, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he was.
And, I mean, he's a stud. He's fast. He's young. I think he's, 24 years old, signed an 11-year contract or something like that. So he'll be there with the Royals unless they trade him. But I think the Royals are trying to build upon that, right? They want to get back to the promised land of winning championships. I like that signing by the Royals. That solidifies, okay, we're serious about the next 10 years. Right. So let's go get ourselves some guys. I could see Snell maybe signing there. I can see Snell going. I can see Snell going to the Snell. I never liked the guy's attitude sometimes, but ultimately he's a competitor and he knows how to win games. And he's a high-rated pitcher. He was the best thing out of San Diego last year. So a team needs to gamble on him. Bellinger, same thing. Kid has gone through so much scrutiny in LA, and rightfully so. He struggled. He slumped. But you know what? You know what really showed from him is he dug down and said, I'm not giving up, and I'm not going to let this slump get in my head. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to perform in Chicago. And he did. MVP type stats. Any other year, he would have won MVP last year. Any other year.
Absolutely. Right. Any other season. If Acuna does even 3/4 of what he does, Bellinger is at least getting looks. But Acuna he absolutely dominated. Yeah, I think Bellinger, he just wants what he feels he's worth, and I don't blame him after last season. We talked before about how the trepidation from the teams is that going to be an anomaly season again? Is he going to go back to what he was before that with LA? So we'll see what happens with Bellinger. At this point, with the fact that the Yankees made the Verdugo and Soto moves, I think he's going back to Chicago. Personally, I think that's a good fit for him and a good fit for the team. So I think that's where I see him going.
Yeah, I mean, we still got a lot of guys out there. I mean, I'm looking to see who's still available for – I mean, there's a lot of contracts that are not available right now. But, I mean, I'm going down the list here at Sports Track. And, Joey Votto still needs a team. Clayton Kershaw still wants to play. Yasmani Grandal, who's a catcher, can be a good backup. Liam Hendricks is still up there. Or did he sign with the Dodgers?
No, I believe you're thinking Lance Lynn.
Liam Hendricks, he's the one that had he had cancer last year. Yep. But he's a good solid closer out of the bullpen. Bellinger, I mean, I just don't see why a lot of these guys are not signed. I mean, most of it's a deal, like the size of the deal that they want. Greinke still wants to play. I mean, he's 40 years old. It's going to be tough for him. The reason why these 40-year-old pitchers are going to have a tough time getting a lot of deals is because of Verlander and Scherzer. Verlander had an amazing 40-year year, right? Like he won the Cy Young. But the year after, he kind of just He went to the Mets, fell into the dumps, and then came to the Astros, got traded, and didn't really do much. So I'm interested to see how that plays out with them. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on. I mean,
Yeah.
your I guess, what is your like biggest, I guess, takeaway for pitchers and catchers? Like, what are you looking forward to when guys get there? What are you looking forward to the first couple spring training games?
I'm interested to see some of the young guys. I'm very interested to see that we've heard a lot of talk about all these teams have young pitchers that might be on the way or may get a roster spot this year. So I'm interested to see who kind of emerges as that, oh, okay, he is ready. Or, the guys, also a lot of the guys that are coming back from injury. For the Dodgers camp in particular, I'm interested to see what Walker Buehler likes opening up camp after missing an entire year and seeing how is he completely ready? Like, did that year off really help him? Or is he going to take a little longer to, get back into full swing now that he's back in camp and able to throw? How about
I'm
you?
interested to see how the Rangers come out and perform in spring training, who they return, who's going to come out and play great baseball. Can they get a deal done for Montgomery? And I think that was a pivotal part of that championship team. I think they're going to be a team to watch because obviously they're the world champions. But you want to see what they're going to do. Montgomery's still out there as a player that can go out and dominate. I mean, the Yankees been in talk with him. He may return there. He may return with the Cardinals. Who knows? I mean, at this point, we're still up in the air on a lot of players that are. I think this is the reason why. The reason why there's so much is because they're going to see these teams are going to see what they have, right? That's why spring training is so beautiful because you get to see actual games and see what the teams have, and then you can go out and say, okay, we do need a fourth. We do need a number 2 starter. Okay, we do need like a left-handed pitcher. Okay, we do need a guy who can go out and hit 250 and get us some base hits. We do need those type of people. So I think that's why there's so many guys still out for pretty much free agents right now. We'll see what happens into the spring training, but we'll be back here next week. Look forward to baseball season starting. We'll go over pitchers and catchers, who's reporting, who's not off a contract. But we'll be back here next week. Make sure you guys tune into the rotation with Mike and Jon. I'm Jonathan Sawyer. This is Mike DeSanto. We'll see you guys here.